prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
You know, I'm not going to tell you what we have done. We're just going to go out there and we're going to continue to show you. We've made leaps and bounds since the spring, and we're going to continue to take leaps and bounds. So that's a goal of ours, and, you know, we're dead set on proving that. Forget talking about it.
Welcome to the Talkin Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. I didn't think I was going to get a video out today. Not a whole lot going on. The Vols did practice this morning. But because of the weather, they were forced indoors. So that means it is closed to the media. So no updates, no practice reports coming out today. But obviously, the last couple of days, all the talk has been about Rodney Garner, that defensive line, and the defensive unit as a whole. Tennessee gets ready to go back and scrimmage for the second time this fall camp tomorrow. So hopefully we're going to have some news coming out of that. It's going to be interesting to see. I talked about in previous videos how I like that the defense won the day for that first scrimmage, but I want to see how the offense bounces back. It sounds like the offensive line, they had a lot of dead ball penalties during that first scrimmage. So it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back, how they respond. Does that offensive line come out with some aggression during Tuesday's scrimmage? Also, I want to hear more about the quarterback position. We didn't really hear a whole lot coming out of Thursday's scrimmage. We did see some highlights, some tape, some different clips. Seems that Joe Milton is the guy that is being pushed out there through the highlight tapes, through even the reports coming out of practice. It sounds like he is the guy at this point, with Hendon Hooker number 2, Harrison Bailey number 3. But I want to hear from Josh Heupel. I want to, maybe get some hard evidence out there instead of just highlights. It looks nice when Joe Milton drops one in the corner to Jalen Hyatt. Looks good when he's breaking away on a run, but I want to see more. I want to hear more. So hopefully we'll have that for you tomorrow. We are going to go live. Just a quick reminder, we are going live Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So hopefully we'll have some stuff to talk about there coming out of the scrimmage as well. But what I'm going to talk about today is a little bit more disrespect, which, we shouldn't be surprised at this point. It is what it is. Until Tennessee proves it on the field of play, they're going to continue to be disrespected. So we'll jump into that here in just a second. But as always, guys, do me a favor. Go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. If you will so kindly press that thumbs up. Also, if you are new to the Talkin Vols Network, welcome. We ask that you go ahead and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we drop videos or when we do live streams. Like I said, again, tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be going live. As we will be the rest of the season. So get in where you fit in. Let's talk some Tennessee athletics. But let's get the article shared up today. Again, just goes back to what I said when I talked about Mike Farrell's prediction over at Rivals.com. Just more disrespect. Some of you, you want to leave a comment and say Tennessee deserves it. They deserve disrespect at this point until they prove it on the field of play. Maybe a little bit of truth there. I don't know. I just think Tennessee is better than what some of these columnists, analysts, I don't know what you want to call them. I don't know who Mike Calabrese is over at Saturday Down South. But the article says betting stuff, win totals to bet, and week 0 leans. I'm going to just kick things off and say, I don't know that I would take betting advice from this guy. I hope that he is going to stick to his guns. I hope he goes and places this bet that we're going to talk about here in just a second. I'll say that because something tells me that he doesn't have the guts to do that. But the article starts off, it says, with fall camps open across the country, the season is now within reach. God, I'm so excited. So excited. We are so close to football time in Tennessee. It says daily reports from beat writers are fueling small market moves on national title futures and win totals alike. So before all the values drop, stay tuned, guys. He's going to give us some values here. I wanted to share the 5 win totals I'm playing this fall. I hope you're telling the truth, Mike. Mike, are you telling the truth? Are you going to play this? It says I'm going to provide some early insight into my week 0 card. So let's just scroll down here to the important part. Let's scroll down to the part that we care about. That's Tennessee. You can see the over-under is set at 6.5. I think that's right where Vegas is at. They were at 6.5, somewhere around in there. That's a good betting line to me. I've gone on record numerous times talking about how I think Tennessee wins 6 games. That's my prediction. Obviously, there is a ceiling to that, and there is a floor to that. Absolute best case scenario, everything goes right. I saw somebody over at VolQuest. They posted a poll, and it said, if Josh Heupel turns Joe Milton into an all-SEC type of player, first team, second team, all-SEC type of player, how many games does Tennessee win? If you get that much success out of Joe Milton, first team all-SEC, second team all-SEC, Tennessee could win 8 or 9 games. Call me crazy. That doesn't mean I'm predicting 8 or 9 games. What I'm saying is if that guy's statement is true, if Joe Milton performs as a first team, second team, all SEC player, Tennessee can win 8 or 9 games. No doubt about it. But there's a reason you play these games. The SEC schedule is a grind. Injuries occur. Things happen. What if Joe Milton doesn't work out? What if Hendon Hooker doesn't work out? What if Harrison Bailey doesn't work out? What if we end up in another endless cycle rotation of quarterbacks? Then I guess this guy named Mike has your prediction. But I predict 6 wins. Let's see what he has to say. He says, the juice is all you need to understand here. Sports books have been trying to dissuade the public from fading the Volunteers' post numbers of 6.5, but given the roster turnover, conference schedule, and lack of established offensive playmakers, this team screams under. I don't know that I would necessarily argue there. If you told me you wanted to go with the under, I would go with the under. If I'm sticking to my guns and saying 6 wins, I would bet the under there. I wouldn't say it screams the under. This is where it gets interesting. He says this program waved goodbye to 7 4-stars and 7 3-stars in the offseason. That kind of talent drain is setting them up to get overpowered by the vast majority of their conference opponents. Maybe. Yeah, probably accurate there. But what drives me nuts is the ongoing theme, the narrative that these writers put out there. They like to talk about how many players left the team. Who is one of those players? We can talk about who one of those players is. It was Jarrett Garantano. How many of you guys would be excited about this season if Jarrett Garantano was returning at quarterback? JT Shrout was another. JT Shrout has some talent, transferred to Colorado, but who is coming in to replace them? Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton. The 2 guys that everybody is talking about so far throughout fall camp as probably winning the job as Tennessee's starting quarterback. So, yeah, Tennessee lost some talent. They lost Eric Gray, All-American running back. They lost Ty Chandler, but they're also replacing those 2 guys with 2 guys that I think can step up and compete in Tyon Evans. You're hearing a lot about Jalen Wright, Jabari Small leading the way. Now, is that a guarantee? No, maybe not. It's not a guarantee. I think I've seen enough and read enough to believe that those guys can step up and contribute. But when you're putting out this narrative as a writer, how much do you really dig into Tennessee? When you're covering the entire scene of college football, how much do you really know what is going on at the University of Tennessee versus looking at the narrative of, okay, they lost 7 4-stars and 7 3-stars. That's easy to look at and say. Nobody's out there talking about who they replaced them with. Nobody is talking about how Josh Heupel went into the transfer portal, got the leading tackler out of Texas to come in and play linebacker. Nobody's talking about Turnage coming from Alabama. There's a 4-star. There's another 4-star replaced. Turnage coming from Alabama, going to compete for a starting spot on that defense. Nobody's talking about Caleb Tremblay and DeJoun Terry coming in right out of the gate, have an opportunity to compete and contribute for this football program. Yes, we know it because we are Tennessee diehard fans. We follow every step of the way, but it's easy for the media, for the national media, to just put this narrative out there, all the talent that Tennessee lost. And they did. They did lose some talent. We're not stupid. It's easy to say Tennessee coming off of a 3-win season, a 3-win all-SEC conference, COVID-filled season. Sure, 3 wins. Lost a lot of talent off of that team. This football team is better than people believe it is. This is where he loses me. This is where he completely loses me, because as much as some of that stuff he said irks me, as much, talking about the roster turnover, the lack of established offensive playmakers, it irritates me. He kind of has, he's just following the narrative. Here's where he completely loses me. He says, here's the list of games I feel confident the Vols will win. He's confident in 3 wins. 3 wins, he's predicting. 3-win season. Bowling Green, Tennessee Tech, and South Carolina. And then he doubles down and follows it up with end of list. Bowling Green, Tennessee Tech, South Carolina. End of list. Listen to what this lunatic says next. Even a late season game against South Alabama isn't a layup given the Jags' offensive talent and play calling. Yeah, let's talk about that South Alabama and their offense and their talent, just how great they are. A team that averaged 19.9 points a game last season. We all know the struggles that Tennessee had on offense, but South Alabama averaged less than 20 points a game in the Sun Belt. In the Sun Belt. If Josh Heupel can't beat South Alabama in his first season at Tennessee, we got major problems, huge problems. This football program may never recover. But when you pull up the schedule and you take a look at it, and he says 3 wins, he's predicting a loss to Pitt, which we've all talked about how important that game is. I think Tennessee can be 3-0 going into the Florida game, and he's predicting them to win 3 games all season. That Pitt game is not a gimme. That Pitt game is the Johnny Majors Classic. That's going to be, I think, the most crucial game on the schedule this season. But old Mike over there at Saturday Down South feels that Tennessee can beat South Carolina. I think Tennessee can beat South Carolina also. But for some strange reason, he doesn't include Vanderbilt in that mix. So he believes that Vanderbilt is a tougher opponent for Tennessee than South Carolina. Keep in mind, both of those games will be inside of Neyland Stadium. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this prediction. 3 wins. Some of you guys like the disrespect. I think some of the players are starting to feed off of that disrespect. Last year's team was better than a 3-win football team. Absolute disaster in leadership and coaching and player development. We have coaches, we have teachers, we have leadership on this football team now. Does that guarantee wins? No, because the bullets are about to start flying. We are going to see what this team is made of, but I think they are better than a 3-win football team this season. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. I didn't think I was going to get a video out today since practice was closed. I saw somebody share this article over on VolQuest, so I thought I would get on and rant and rave about it like a lunatic. I don't think this Tennessee football team is going to go out and dominate the SEC East this year, but I think they are a lot better than people are giving them credit for. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure you go ahead and smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, if you want to help out the channel, go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. We got the brand new retro Vols merchandise. You can check it out. Again, the link will be in the description. It'll be in the comments, different styles, sizes, colors, all that good stuff. You can kind of customize your own shirt. We still got the baseball merch. The Egghead 2.0 shirts are still there. Vol Hoop, State Pride, all that good stuff. But any and all support is appreciated. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. This is the Talkin Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
How like me, poets sat in archade, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I